guys, welcome back. The time a lot of HO scale modelers have been waiting for has finally arrived. The Intermountain ES44 AC Norfolk Southern Heritage units are here, and we've got a lot to cover, so let's get started on the review. As you see here, all 10 Norfolk Southern Heritage units are laid out from Intermountain. These are the ES44 ACs, all with Loksound, DC, and DCC equipped. So you can run them both on your DC layout and your DCC layout. These locomotives, there's actually 11 here because I'm doing a giveaway in my previous video for the nickel plate road. So there's a nickel plate road there, as well as a nickel plate road right here. So I'm giving away one nickel plate road sound equipped locomotive. So the giveaway is over in just a few days, so be sure to check that out and possibly enter by commenting on my previous video. But these are the 10 locomotives, guys, from Intermountain, and we are going to crack into these and get them out of the box so you can see what they look like. So here is just a quick look of the paint schemes overall, so you can see the paint schemes and how they turned out on these locomotives. I'll get into an in-depth review here in a moment, but here's the first 5: Central of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Southern, Conrail, and nickel plate road, as you see there. That's the first 5. Okay, here are the last 5: Lee Valley, Norfolk and Western, Interstate, Norfolk Southern, and Monongahela. I don't know if that's pronounced right or not because I'm not really familiar with these older road names, but those are your last 5 in the ES44 AC Heritage scheme. Alright, let's take a look at the details. I'm going to pick nickel plate road to look at in detail for a closer look. Okay, before we dive into the review, I do want to talk about the documentation that comes in the box. The only thing that's in the box documentation wise is this Intermountain Quick Start Guide. It gives you all the details of functions, the first several functions on the locomotive, and all the way up to F18. And then it talks about how to change your air horns and things like that. On the back, it explains to you how to remove the shell if you need to make a repair or perform maintenance, and it also tells you what you need to do maintenance wise as far as lubrication and things like that. Let's go over some key details of this locomotive, starting with the front. These locomotives are equipped with KD couplers, so nice strong metal couplers. Looking down here at the MU hoses, you've got a nice silver tip applied to the MU hose bottom, just like the prototype. That's a nice touch by Intermountain there. The MU hoses have really nice detail. Looking at the handrails and grab irons, the handrails have a nice prototypical thickness, but they're durable, so that works out great. Very nice job of the paint applied to this overall, very evenly. There's no chips or anything in the paint. As we move towards the cab, you've got etched metal windshield wipers here, and a nice cab sunshade here, and nice cab windows. Very clear, nice details. As we move back to the cab number 8100, this is nice and clear and crisp. There's no smudges. Anything on this locomotive that's small, all the warning labels and small lettering, I've looked under magnification, it's clear and legible. So they did a nice job on the printing of this locomotive. Nice detail on the trucks. You can see the springs and details down here on the trucks. Back towards the fuel compartment, or the fuel tank, I'm sorry, they've got the see-through gauge where you can see how much fuel is in the locomotive, is nicely represented here. Good handrail details on the actual handrails along the side of the locomotive. They've got safety tread on the walkways. I'll show you an aerial view here in a moment. Again, the main number nickel plate road, main name nickel plate road, is done very clear and crisp. Nice details on that. It's got the correct horn up here, exhaust valve here, and I'll show you more details when we get to the roof. Working the way towards the back, got a nice detail on the trucks again. Nice detail all around on this locomotive. As we work our way to the rear of the locomotive, the radiator section really struck me as done well by Intermountain. They did a great job accurately representing the prototype here. The grills, radiator fan grills and everything look well done. They did an excellent job. This is the only time I've seen this accurate in a model outside of brass. Working our way towards the back, again the handrails are done well. The safety tread around the area is done well, and I'll show you that on the aerial view. You've got the rear headlight or tail light. You've got ditch lights on both ends. I forgot to mention that on the front. You've got the MU cables again on the back with the silver painted tips, and you have the metal KD coupler back here. So really well done by Intermountain there. Working our way from the rear of the locomotive forward, I want to show you the details on the hood. You've got the radiator section back here that was nicely done. You've got all the warning labels as you see here. You've got the exhaust, the horn. You can see the safety tread on the walkways as we work our way to the dynamic braking section. Nice detail there. And on the roof, the antennas are done accurately to the prototypes on top of the cab. So great job by Intermountain there. Now I'd like to do a quick 360-degree view so you can just see this locomotive overall, because it really is a work of art. They've done a great job. So let's take a look. Just going to rotate this here. And the underbody and the roof details. So that is your ES44AC in detail. Now let's talk about sound and features. On the sound-equipped DCC ES44AC versions of this Intermountain locomotive, you just simply apply track power and the locomotive will go through its start sequence. I'm going to shut my mouth so you can hear that right now. So as you can see, the start sequence is fairly long, starting with the warning bell and then the starting of the locomotive itself. Very good job by Intermountain on the sounds of this. The sounds out of the box are fairly low, they're not really loud. So let's go ahead and listen to the bell and horn on this locomotive, as well as look at the headlights and some of the other functions. All of these locomotives come programmed at 3 in their DCC decoder, so that's how you draw up their number in your system. Here's the bell. And the horn. So there you have it. I've dimmed the lights so you can see this model's headlights and ditch lights, as well as the backlit number boards. The backlit number boards are some of the best backlit number boards I've seen. There's no visible shine through. It's very evenly done across the number board, so the actual bulb is not shining through in one section more than the other. A great job on that. But I want to go ahead and blow the horn so you can see the ditch light flash rate and the ditch lights flash themselves. So a good job on that. The LEDs are a nice white LED. They are not blue like a lot of LEDs try to show through on the models. They have a nice white appearance. Not a golden white, but an almost pure white appearance. So great job on the headlights. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other ditch lights on the rear end of the locomotive and look at the other lights. Looking at the tail end of this locomotive, again they have ditch lights. When you do hit the horn, it does not flash though, as you can see here. But they did a great job on the lights all around. Again, a nice white crisp appearance. No blue tint to these lights. Well, for an MSRP of $179.95 for the DC and DCC version of this locomotive, and $259.95 for the DC, DCC, and Loksound equipped version of this locomotive, I think it's a great deal, especially for you discount hunters out there that can find prices even cheaper than that. The detail that they've gone to on these Gevo locomotives is just unprecedented. Little things like I mentioned, like the tips that are silver painted on the MU hoses, that obviously have a nice texture to them. The radiator fan section of the locomotive, is greatly detailed. The handrails are done well, the sound is done well. Loksound is definitely an improvement, in my opinion, that Intermountain has taken to bring this model to another level. Another thing I want to talk about is Intermountain's quality control process. A lot of people don't know this, but Intermountain tests every locomotive that comes into their facility before it goes to the modeler. So it's a 100% check to make sure those locomotives are functioning properly, there's not broken parts or pieces and things like that. So when they leave Intermountain and go to your retailers or to your local hobby shops, online hobby shops, things like that, they are 100% checked to make sure they work correctly. So it's a great job by Intermountain on that aspect as well. Overall, I couldn't ask for a better locomotive. I think they've done a great job on these heritage locomotives. I've run each one of them. They all look and sound great with zero problems. And when you have 0 problems out of 10 locomotives, that's really saying something about your quality control process. So with that said, I suggest you guys go out and check these items out. They're a great representation, an accurate representation of the Norfolk Southern Heritage Units ES44 ACs. Intermountain's not doing the SD70 ACEs of the other 10 locomotives, but those are available from other retailers, and we'll take a look at that later on in the year. So with that said, guys, I will leave you with a run-by of 2 or 3 of my favorite Norfolk Southern Heritage units and a short consist so you can see these things in action. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.